The way that Excel defaults its histograms is like this. And this is not very data analysis like because pitch speed is a numeric variable and the x-axis should be a nice numeric axis instead of these like separated bins. And though you can play with it and make them different, bin different lengths and things, I would like to see an actual numerical scale here. And so Excel's data analysis feature does have a histogram feature. So this is an example of a histogram we've made so far, but let's make a different histogram. And let's suppose that I want to make a histogram of the speeds. So we'll make a histogram of the speeds. Control-Shift-down arrow. Now, the output range we can just put as like M1. Now, if you we have labels, so I'm going to click labels. If you click OK, it's going to it made up its own bins, and this is a weird thing. This is what we want to teach Excel to do. Because do you see how now there aren't these bins down below? It's just a numeric scale, but that's ugly. So we want to improve the look of this histogram. Let me clean this out. And we will use Excel's histogram feature. Okay, so it's asking for bins. So it's asking, what do you want these bins to be? So what you could do is you could name the bins what you want. Like if I went from 35 every 5 until 100, so I'm going to click on that. I think it will auto recognize. Yeah, we're going to go up to 100. So I could make bins like this and say I want to have a bar for each one of these. So now we can go to the data analysis option, histogram option, and for the bins, we could highlight our bins. I want to have the chart output. The chart means it's going to give you the graph. So I'm going to click chart. And first it tells us what's the frequency or what's the count in each bin. And then it gives us a histogram. Let me take this histogram and put it right below. And it's actually closer to what I like to see a histogram to look like. First of all, we're going to label the axes, so we don't need that. Now, the first thing I want is I want these bars to touch. So I'm going to click on the bars, and I highlight the bar, and I want there to be no gap. And when I click on the bar, though, with the paint, I do want there to be a solid line so that I can see the different bars. And so now we have a comparison. I want to give the x-axis a better name. The x-axis is the pitch speeds. Oh dear. Miles per hour. And the vertical axis is frequency or count. I will put the data labels up, so I'm going to click the plus, my data labels, I'll put them above. And we see in this more section, there's nothing. And we see in this 35, there's nothing. Now, one thing I don't like about it is that these numbers are just sort of hanging out. There's no mark for them. So I could click on the axis. And when you click on the axis, format axis, under this option, let's put the number on the tick mark there. That to me just looks better as far as I see the 80 is right in the middle of this bar. So this bar goes to like 77.5 to 82.5, and there are 192 entries in there. And so this is an histogram that has a numeric axis, which is something that looks better in data analysis. So, oh, this is a bad title. Pitch speeds. What we definitely need to do, and we'll start doing this in the next section, next class, we have got to deal with the fact that there are different chunks of speeds, and we've got to separate those out, and we will.